There's a force more powerful than a hurricane, than nuclear energy. Its impact goes beyond the physical. It alters the trajectories of lives at the individual and societal levels. I'm talking about the power of music. Music. It's integral to our lives. Birthdays, graduations, funerals, on the battlefield, on sports fields, or homecomings. When we're sad or when we're happy, when we break up, or when we get married, we have music. Why is that? It's because music comforts us, it heals us, it empowers us. Music can connect us with our souls, with society, with our faith. It can even connect us to our friends of the furry persuasion. This is my late fur buddy, Kanga Dog. He always managed to find his way to sit at my feet when I played the cello. Even in his twilight years, struggling to walk, no matter where he was in the house, whenever he heard my wife Katie play that piano, that my friend Justin's playing there, but whenever he heard my wife Katie play the piano, he would hobble over just to sit and be with her. Music always soothed him. It grounded him. He was a good boy. Music bridges cultural divides. It fosters peace during times of comfort. Picture this: World War I, Christmas Eve on the Western Front. Out of the miry trenches, German and British troops meet on the battlefield for a remarkable confrontation. It begins with German troops singing Christmas carols. British soldiers respond by joining in. Their voices meet across the gloomy expanse between them. Nervously, soldiers from both sides climb out and meet amidst the barbed wire. This no man's land is a zone for death and destruction, but tonight, music has transformed it into a field of camaraderie. For a brief pause in the war, enemy troops lay down their arms. Instead of exchanging fire, they exchange gifts and goodwill. They even play football together. This moment of humanity transcends the horrors of war, and it began with music. Even as a seed, music is a powerful force for peace. Just imagine what it could do in our divided, war-torn world today. Music, as a performing art, breaks through racial and societal boundaries. In 1897, Marian Anderson was born. She was the first black singer to ever perform in the Metropolitan Opera in New York. Her talent was recognized at a young age, but she had to overcome poverty and prejudice during a time of racial segregation. Though she went on to become one of the world's most celebrated singers of the 20th century, success did not shield her from adversity. In 1939, the Daughters of the American Revolution refused to allow her to perform at Constitution Hall in Washington, D.C., simply because she was black. This sparked national outrage and led to a historic concert at the Lincoln Memorial, which was attended by an integrated crowd of 75,000 people and millions more listening via radio. One of those, that's right. One of those radio listeners was the 10-year-old Martin Luther King Jr., who drew inspiration from that event and wrote about it later in life. Marian Anderson's artistic mastery and her courage to overcome poverty and racial exclusion inspired many after her, including the great soprano Jessye Norman. Music transforms lives. As a kid, growing up in Brooklyn, New York, the son of immigrant parents, I really didn't care for classical music. That stuff was for old people, for rich people. My only exposure were Dad's LPs and the occasional PBS telecast of Live from Lincoln Center. But junior high school changed everything for me. I got assigned to the string orchestra class. Our music teacher, Miss Vorlich, introduced us to Haydn, Mozart, Beethoven, and Tchaikovsky. Playing music with other kids my age, it just ignited my passion. Miss Vorlich invited me and 3 friends to study Bach and Mozart with her during our lunch periods. And despite our screechy, scratchy performance at the final concert, we were just thrilled to be making music that we had only heard on the radio or recordings. This set me on a path to a life and career in music. In 1982, I eventually enrolled in the Manhattan School of Music, and my parents scraped up the funds to buy my first student cello, while I scooped ice cream at Baskin and Robbins to pay for private lessons. This cringy photo is of me as a teenager giving my first recital in 1984. I was blessed to have an encouraging cello teacher. Despite the fact that I had started taking lessons so late, at the age of 14, she believed that if I really worked my butt off, I might be able to make it into Juilliard. Long story short, I got my bachelor's and my master's degree from Juilliard. And my doctorate from the Peabody Institute at Johns Hopkins University. I've had the opportunity now to perform across the United States and internationally. And today, I have the privilege of serving as the artistic director of the San Diego Music Society. My life was transformed by the power of music. It kept me off the streets, instilling discipline, respect, and purpose. I'm the first musician in my family for as many generations as we know. Music is a vocal advocate for freedom and peace. In 1938, General Francisco Franco overthrew the Spanish Democratic Republic and established a brutal dictatorship. In response, the world-renowned cellist Pablo Casals left Spain and went into exile. Leveraging his influence as an international icon, he raised support for Spanish refugees and stood against tyranny by refusing to perform in countries that recognized Franco's government, including the United States. At this point, he began every concert by playing Song of the Birds, a Catalan Christmas carol. In 1961, when President John F. Kennedy invited Casals to perform at the White House, he struggled with that decision. But eventually he relented, and for the first time in 30 years, Casals performed in the United States. And of course, he performed Song of the Birds. He told JFK that this expressed his nostalgia for Spain and his hopes for freedom and peace. In 1971, at the age of 94, Casals was invited to play at the United Nations General Assembly. He came out of retirement to once again proclaim freedom and peace by playing Song of the Birds. I thought it would be fitting for me and Qing Ming to play this piece for you today, Song of the Birds. Let the spirit of freedom and peace and hope linger for a moment. Remember that music is inextricably woven into our lives. It has the power to speak to the nations and touch individual lives. So the next time you're downcast or distressed, let music refresh you and restore you. When you comfort a child, sing to them, sing with them, songs of comfort and hope, songs of courage. And the next time you gather with your friends, if even just to sing happy birthday, belt it out, in tune or not, and consider the fact that through music, you're strengthening the bonds of friendship. It is my hope and prayer that you experience the power of music by singing, learning an instrument, playing with others. Experience that spontaneous energy, the deep connection between performer and audience by attending live concerts in wonderful venues, large and small. And most of all, support music programs for young people, for they will become the world's ministers of creativity, inspiration, healing, and peace, all through the power of music.